Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 6, Review C. Directions say to graph each exponential function. So for number 8, we get y equals 2 times 3 to the x power. So what are we supposed to do? On the left-hand side in our table right here, they're telling us all the different values that we could plug in for x. Now, we can do this two ways. We've talked a lot about using exponents, so I'm going to start at the bottom because it's the easiest right now. So y equals 2 times 3 to the second power. Now, we can do all of these by hand. We just have to make sure we're following order of operations, because 2/3, which we have to do first, or 2/3, 3 squared, yeah, it's 9. And then 2 times 9, we get 18. Okay, and then we can do the next one. And the next one. We know how to do all that. We've worked with exponents before, but we also have a wonderful piece of technology with us with the graphing calculators. Okay, so in my graphing calculator, yes, I know I still have the old one. We've got to get technology to fix it for me. I need to plug in that equation. So y equals 2 times 3. 3 is to the x power. Okay, now before we graph this, we need to double check our window, okay? Because if you're looking at the graphs that we have, the window's a little bit different, okay? What you can see, we don't go anything below y is 0, okay? So our x min is -10, our x max is 10, that's fine, the scale's fine. But for y min right here, I want the y min to equal 0, okay? And now I can graph this and we'll be able to tell if this is growth or decay. Now, since we're really focusing in on just those points, I am going to change my window a little bit just so you guys can see it. So I'm going to go to -3 and +3. And now I'm really zoomed in to the part where we are graphing. Okay? Now, we've got that information. I want to know the table. I want to know the answers. So I'm going to click on second graph, and that's going to take me to my table. And then we get, for 1, we get 6. For 0, we get 2. Now for these other ones, they're giving us decimals, 0.66667, 0.222222222. It's good to know those as fractions as well. So I'm going to write both answers. So we've got 0.67 repeating. That's actually 2/3, okay? Now you can do it two different ways. You can go, well, what is 0.666666667? Because Mr. Grice told me something about math, enter, enter, and you can get it that way. Or we can do it by hand, which is what we're going to do. So 2 times 3 to the -2nd power. So we've worked with distributing the negative exponents. If our exponent's negative, what do? Yeah, if our exponent's negative, we drop it like it's hot. So we get y equals 2, and then that 3 squared goes on the bottom. And then, what's 3 squared? 9. Okay, so our fraction would be 2/9, but then when we look at our calculator, when we go back to the table, it's 0.222 repeating. So now that we have all that, we can graph. So at 0, we're at 2. At 1, we're at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At 2, I can't even graph it because it's really high. So at -1, we're at 0.67, and at 2, we're at 0.222. So remember, just do the best that you can and then graph, okay? Don't forget to add your arrows. All right, next one. Let's go up and take a look at our equation. Y equals 3, 1/2 x. And we can do the same thing. So y equals 3 times, when you're doing a fraction, make sure that you're putting 1 divided by 2 inside the parentheses, and then to the x power. Okay, there's our table. So I got 12. Oh, sorry. We get 12. What were the other ones? 6, 3, 12, 6, 3. And then we had 1.5. And then the other one was 0.75. Okay, so I'm going to do those ones by hand just so we can practice what it looks like. Okay, so when I'm distributing that 1 right here to both, well, 1 to the first power is 1, and 2 to the first power is 2. So now we have just 3 times 1 over 2, which is 3 over 2, which is 1.5. And now we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Okay, so the first step is to always distribute. So we have 1 squared over 2 squared. 1 squared is, it's not 2 guys, 1 times 1. And then 2 squared is 4. And then when you multiply that, you get 3/4. And if you're thinking, Mr. Grice, it's 0.75, I already know that's 3/4. Well, good for you. Okay. All right. Now, to graph it, there you go. That's what it should look like. We've got our points. Let's go ahead and graph. So at -2, I'm at 12. That's too high. I can't do it. At -1, I'm at 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At 0, I'm at 1, 2, 3. At 1, I'm at 1.5. And at 2, I'm at 0.75. So just do your best, okay? And then when you're graphing it, try to make sure it's nice and smooth. And remember that it does not touch that x-axis. Okay? Well, guys, that's it for Algebra Unit 6 Review C. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off. Thanks for watching.